I'm now being joined by Jairam Ramesh, Minister of State for Environment and Forests, and also by Probir Banerjee, the President of NDTV, who's been very closely involved with NDTV in this entire campaign to try and save the coastline. Jairam Ramesh, let me start by coming to you now. This entire campaign that we've been doing to save India's coastline, to try and save the vanishing beaches, you are now saying that you're not going to be changing the CMC. You're going to be allowing the new notification CMC to lapse and not introduce it until you've engaged with local communities directly. Is that correct?
No, undoubtedly, as far as fishermen and their traditional livelihoods, their rights are concerned, there has never been any intention and there will be no intention to tamper with these traditional rights. So whatever changes that we are going to bring about looking at the principles of scientific sustainable development in the Coastal Zone Regulation of 1991, CRZ 91, will be within the framework of CRZ 91, but without disturbing the traditional rights of livelihood and other rights that fishermen and their families have enjoyed.
Probir Banerjee, the basic issues that are being faced, is it to do only with the coastal regulations, or also, of course, a lot to do with ports and the way ports have just been coming up in an unplanned sort of a manner?
Yeah, actually the bigger problem that India is facing is the proliferation of ports and SEZs, because these do not have to follow the CRZ or CMZ or whatever you call it. They paint a very false picture of development and false employment and completely suppress the economics of the environment and the economics of the social economics. So much of devastation happens, the livelihoods are lost, there's so much the salinity all along the coast, and there is no assessment at all as to what is the carrying capacity of India in terms of how many ports can it have. And unless there is a study done to find out what are the impacts of the existing ports on the coastal environment, on the livelihoods, I think there should be a serious moratorium on ports. On one side, we are talking about food security and water security, and all these ports are causing such severe damage along the coast. The water has become saline. 25% of India's coastline is severely affected, and so the water security is gone. On the other hand, about the food security, when you build these ports, the livelihoods are gone, the fishing is lost because of this development, and huge amounts of agricultural lands are being taken away for promoting SEZs. Now, this is been very well put in this book called For the Common Good. We have reached a level of unsustainable development.
Probir, let me just get a reaction. Let me just get a reaction to that.
Going to be detrimental.
Yeah, let me just get a reaction to that from the Minister. Jairam Ramesh, the issue of ports now. India already has 187 minor ports, 12 major ones. Shipping Ministry has said that 54 more ports are going to be coming up in the next 5 years. These ports do have some damage to the coast. So I think this is something which a ministry needs to look at very carefully.
Well, this was discussed. I've discussed this with my colleagues, and I've asked my colleagues that we should commission a study to look at the overall impact of this development of minor ports, over which the centre really has no concern, no direct control. Of course, we develop major ports, but nevertheless, that's a artificial distinction. Port is a port, and it does have an effect on the coastline, marine life and environment. And very soon, we will commission a study to look at the overall impact of many of these port developments. Let me hasten to add that some of these ports may well be necessary. The important thing is to design these ports in such a manner that their environmental impact, adverse environmental impact, is minimized.
So maybe one of the solutions, Jairam Ramesh, would be to have maybe fewer ports, which are more modern ports, have a higher carrying capacity, and perhaps are done under environmental norms, and with the Environment Ministry perhaps also looking at them.
Sure, I mean, port not for port's sake, but we need, I agree with you, we need a port where it is absolutely necessary. And we need a port that conforms to the best principles of sustainable development. We don't need a port that is going to adversely affect marine life, for example. We don't need a port which is going to interfere with the principles of management of coastal zones, for example. So I think we need to look at this in its totality. Unfortunately, all our clearances are project-based clearances. We don't look at the cumulative impact. For the first time, we'll try to do a study to look at the cumulative impact and then take remedial action.
Jairam Ramesh, thank you so much for joining us. Probir Banerjee, it was great to have you with us as well. We are glad that the campaign that Probir Banerjee, you've helped us initiate, is having some sort of an impact, and let's hope we do get a resolution of this fairly soon.